What up, you guys? It's Blackwing2040. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a top 10 video, and it's going to be my top 10 favorite X-Men villains. Now, the X-Men have a wide variety of villains and such cool, colorful characters as well. The only thing is, here's some exceptions I have with this top 10. There's going to be no teams, because I know most of these villains are pretty much formations of a team, so no mention of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And also, there isn't going to be any villains that's just going to be solely focused on one particular X-Men. I mean like enemies of Wolverine, they will not be on this list. Sorry, but that's just has to be. I'm talking about solo enemies towards the X-Men. Alright, so with that being said, let's begin. So, at number 10 is Mojo. Now, Mojo is a character from the Mojoverse, and pretty much his fixation with the X-Men is that he brings them into his universe and he uses them as TV ratings within his universe, because he pretty much is, here I say it, he's a slave owner, basically. Any people or any creature or life form that he captures and brings into his universe, he uses them for ratings within his universe. And pretty much how he looks, he has no legs, he has no spine, he pretty much has like, wait, I said no legs. He has 4 mechanical legs with a very mechanical tail, but he has no spine. And his face is very creepy. He has like these metallic things that kind of like, you know, forces him to like smile and everything. It's very creepy, but his design is wicked cool. Alright, so number 9 is William Stryker. I know, kind of an odd choice to put on an X-Men list, but here's the reason why I have William Stryker here. William Stryker is a human, religious man who hates mutants with a burning passion. So much that he killed his own wife when they gave birth to a mutant. Yes, his son was a mutant, so he goes ahead and kills his wife. How crazy is that? So he goes on ahead to, you know, kidnap Professor X and also commit genocide against all mutants. If that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. Especially with someone who has a burning grudge against mutant kind. Trust me, that man needs some help. He think he's doing a favor? That's someone that needs some huge, like, therapy. No, not even therapy. He needs just lock him up somewhere where he can't throw away the key. But yeah, William Stryker is just like, he's a massive manipulator. He knows how to get his way with everything, but man, he just hates mutants with a passion. So, number 8 is Mastermind. Now, Mastermind is another one of the X-Men's more earlier villains. He first appeared in X-Men number 4 and also joined up. He was also one of the earlier members of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But one thing I also have Mastermind on here for is because later on in X-Men history, he's also part of the Hellfire Club, and also in their scheme of trying to unlock the powers of the Phoenix. And so he pretty much, you know, plays with Jean Grey's mind, pretends that he and her are married, and as soon as the Phoenix wakes up, the Phoenix realizes that, oh, she's been played. So yeah, Mastermind as a whole, he's, as his name, a mastermind at his game. But I find it interesting how his role as a villain, it starts out in way in the X-Men's early days to having a very prominent, significant role in the Dark Phoenix saga. So that's why I have Mastermind here, and of course he's number 8. Alright, number 7, Mystique. Oh, I love and hate Mystique at the same time, because boy, Mystique, she's deadly, she's fierce, she's like the femme fatale of the X-Men universe, of the X-Men villains. If you see 2 people in the room and you think you know who it is, run. First of all, don't even bother trying to fight Mystique, because this woman will have you by the throat with either her hand or her foot. Because you are going down if you try to fight Mystique. She's agile, she's quick, she knows how to get into places just by changing her shape and form. It's crazy. She's evil, she's deadly, and that's one of the reasons why I love her and hate her at the same time. She's just an incredible villain. So Mystique at number 7. Alright, at number 6 is the Shadow King. Now the Shadow King is a very evil psycho. I could say psychopath, but also one of the strongest telepaths on the planet, next to Charles Xavier. And one thing, a prominent thing about the Shadow King, he also has a prominent role in Storm's origin story. And pretty much one of the reasons how Charles was able to find Storm was because the Shadow King was pretty much forcing her to do things against her will. And anytime Charles and the Shadow King go at it, it's like a battle of, pretty much I could say kind of like a battle of the gods when it comes to like mind power. And of course, usually sometimes Charles will come out on top, sometimes the Shadow King will come out on top. But Shadow King, he's one of the strongest minds on the planet, and he definitely deserves a spot on this top 10. So Shadow King, number 6. Alright, number 5. And I love this character, Omega Red. Now, the first time I ever found out about Omega Red was when I was playing an old school arcade version, you know, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, you know, pretty much Marvel vs. Capcom, and Omega Red was one of the characters. And boy, when I saw the power that he has just by his tendrils alone, just shows how incredible and strong of a character he is. So, a little backstory on Omega Red. He's pretty much a serial killer that got turned over to the KGB, and they pretty much experimented on him, and he was pretty much put on ice for years. Now, fast forward to modern day, he's released, he's now a mutant. He has pretty much tendrils that are made out of carbonium, which is kind of a weird element to say. But trust me, this guy is deadly, he's strong, he is just powerful. And anytime the X-Men get in a fight with this guy, it is such a cool fight to even read and watch at the same time. And I'm surprised that they haven't done Omega Red in the X-Men films yet, but to be honest, I think that's a good thing Omega Red hasn't showed up in any of the X-Men movies yet. Save him for something like a little bit later. Alright, number 4 is the Sentinels. The Sentinels. Let me tell you something. Whenever you see a mutant, anytime you see a Sentinel, straight up, I'm tripping on my words. Anytime, if you're a mutant and you see a Sentinel, run. Just straight up run. These heartless killing machines will kill any mutant on sight. Because, trust me, just to be created by, you know, humanity as a way to get rid of all of mutant kind, it's just crazy how just these things are just straight up deadly. As soon as you see a Sentinel, run the other way. If you're a mutant, don't bother fighting it, because one Sentinel, fine, but when you have an armada, a group, a posse of Sentinels, you're done. You are done after that. Alright, so next up, number 3 is Mr. Sinister. Now, Mr. Sinister is pretty much, he's like a crazy mad mutant scientist. Yes, he's a mutant himself, and he loves to experiment on humans and mutants alike. So, and also he got his powers due to the help of Apocalypse. Now, one thing I love about Mr. Sinister, because if you watch the X-Men 90s cartoon, you see how much he toys with Cyclops and Jean a lot. And I just found his character so, in his name, he's just so tyrant and sinister. It's just, oh, you hate him, but you love to hate him, and that's what makes him so cool. And plus, that cape design and the sharp teeth and everything is just wow, straight up wow. And I think it's a good thing we didn't get Mr. Sinister yet in live action. Who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But who knows? I can wait. I can wait on that. All right, number 2, Apocalypse. The first mutant, En Sabanur, the mutant god, if you would say. Now, Apocalypse pretty much is like the most powerful mutant ever. It's just, anytime the X-Men try to go up against Apocalypse, it's over. Because Apocalypse pretty much has, his power is everything. Like, he can do anything. He can, like, change his shape and size. He can change, pretty much blast with any kind of power. He is just freaking powerful. It's just, he's Apocalypse. He's like top tier OP power level. You can't really, you can beat him, but it's just hard to beat him. If anything, that's why the X-Men and the Brotherhood always has team up together to take him down. Because how can you stop something that powerful? You gotta heroes and villains gotta come together and put their differences aside. That's how it is. Alright, before I begin, or pretty much I give you my number one pick, and I'm pretty sure you guys know who it is, let's get down to some honorable mentions. First up is Master Mold. Now, Master Mold is pretty much the central command robot of all the Sentinels. Of course, if you take down Master Mold, you shut down all the Sentinels. But of course, there are many few moments where the Master Mold does show up again. My next honorable mention is Onslaught. Now, Onslaught is a very interesting villain. Now, Onslaught is basically a fusion of Professor X and Magneto. Hence, you can look at his design. He has mostly of Magneto's armor, but pretty much he has the powers of Magneto and plus the powers of Professor X, making him one incredibly deadly foe. My next honorable mention, and I really wanted to put him on this list. I don't know why I didn't, but man, I'm upset at myself. The Juggernaut. I love the Juggernaut. He's just so freaking cool, because as soon as he starts running, you gotta get out of the way, because there's no stopping the unstoppable Juggernaut. And plus, I like the feature of how you can't really, defeat him unless you take his helmet off, because he can't really, knock anything down with just his human head. And plus, I also find it interesting that he's pretty much Professor X's step-brother. And I found that really cool. I just wish, we got a little bit of a better version of him in the X-Men film. Yes, he did appear in Deadpool 2, but that was just like a CGI thing. I want to see like an actual straight up, legit, true to the material version of Juggernaut. The right helmet, look and everything, the suit, the arms and everything. I want a real legit version of Juggernaut. And the funny thing is too, he's not a mutant. He pretty much gets his powers from a magical crystal, which is also very interesting. And the last honorable mention is Dark Phoenix. Now, of course, the Dark Phoenix is a powerful force. Well, pretty much the Phoenix Force as a whole is a force that takes over Jean Grey. And of course, during the Dark Phoenix saga, when she was used by the Hellfire Club, she gets angry and decides to pretty much destroy everything in her path. Heck, she even destroys a whole planet. That's how powerful the Dark Phoenix is. But the crazy thing about the Phoenix Force power as a whole, yes, the Phoenix has the power to destroy everything, but it also has the power to do rebirth, to bring new life to things, which is very interesting. So in a way, it's kind of good and kind of bad at the same time. But all in all, the Phoenix Force as a whole is straight up deadly. And I wish they never, I know Marvel has this way of just like bringing it back for story element purposes, but I am sick and tired of Marvel using the Phoenix Force in stories. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. Ever again. Alright, and now, the number one pick, my number one favorite X-Men villain. You guys already know who it is. It was pretty obvious. Magneto. The master of magnetism himself. Now, I love Magneto because he's not technically a villain, it's just he has good intentions, he just goes at it the wrong way. He wants, he wants equal rights for all mutants, but of course, humans piss him off, and now he wants pretty much, he tells the humans two options: surrender to us or die. That's it. And of course, the interesting thing about Magneto is that he's a Holocaust survivor, and when his powers were, when his powers emerged and everything, everybody hated him. So the fact that he was, hated for his powers, and on top of that, having to go through such a traumatic experience, easily I could say that makes him, Magneto, one of the most sympathetic villains to even look at. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's my top 10 favorite X-Men villains. In the comment section below, who are your favorite X-Men villains? Also, if you haven't, you could click right here to see my top 10 X-Men characters. Check that out. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. And as always, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.